Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. So I grew up in Brookline, and one of the big things in Brookline, it's in the South Hills, when you're growing up, is eventually to be old enough to go without your parents to the Brookline Boulevard. My parents had told us that there was a rule. You weren't allowed to go to the Brookline Boulevard before you were 8 years old. And so on August 27th, 1958, on my 8th birthday, my brother and I got to go to the Brookline Boulevard by ourselves. Now, apart from just the boulevard itself, was the Brookline News and Variety Store, which was where we really wanted to go. We called it Newsies. It served as a newsstand, the center of numbers writing in Brookline, also the greatest candy array you've ever seen. And so on my birthday, my 8th birthday, my brother and I ventured off to the Brookline Boulevard to Newsies. I had saved for this day, actually. I had a small bank, it was in the shape of a world globe, and I had put my nickels and pennies in there. And it was so satisfying. It was a big bulge in my pocket, and as I walked, you know, the change kind of walked with me. And so we had this expectation of getting the candy, but there was something else that I had wanted to share with my brother. There was this amazing thing at Newsies, which is that there was this large red tub in the back of Newsies that was filled with ice and dozens of bottles of Coca-Cola. And when I used to go there with my dad, buying magazines or cigars, I used to watch the grown-ups just reach into that tub, pull out a bottle of Coke, snap off the top, and start drinking it right there without paying. So I figured it was free. I hadn't noticed, you know, that they were paying at some later time. And so I wanted to introduce my brother to the real magic of Newsies, which was the free Cokes. So we, you know, got our candy. I took my bank out and, you know, like dumped it on, and the proprietor, who was a rather imposing man with black suspenders, you know, counted it and thanked me for my patronage. And so we took our bags of candy right to the back of Newsies, and I reached into this tub of cold Coke and proudly and magnanimously handed my brother a Coke, and I took one for myself and popped off the top, and, you know, we each took a swig, and we were so happy with a bag of candy in one hand and Coke in the other hand, walked right out of Newsies. We must not have been walking very fast, because we hadn't taken more than a few steps when the cold hands of this imposing proprietor with the black suspenders grasped our necks and said, "Where are you boys going with those Cokes?" And I thought, what a nice man, he's just looking out for us. Knew that it was our first time at Newsies. Turned around, I said, I thought they were free. Now, I must have said it with such innocence or authenticity that, you know, he kind of shook his head. At that moment, I realized that something was awry. I could just see the headlines in tomorrow's Pittsburgh Press. Jewish boy robs newsstand. So anyway, I took out the bank, I handed it to the man, and he unscrewed the bottom, and he saw the few cents that were left, and he looked at it, and he looked at me, and he said, "That'll be enough." And clearly, I think I got the better end of that deal on that day. But from then on, I realized that whatever I imagined the grown-ups doing, Coke was a dime, even at Newsies.
Dan, everybody! Taking us back to a bygone era when the Pittsburgh Press actually printed news.